You probably watched this. The Boondocks episode that got banned. I probably never got to see this because, you know, I was a youngin', but let's see what he's talking about.
On May 3rd, back in 2010, Boondocks released one of his most...
Hold up. Oh my gosh. Stop it.
On May 3rd, back in 2010, Boondocks released one of his most controversial episodes to date, the story of Jimmy Rebel. This episode featured extreme racist language, the use of heavy slurs, and very offensive imagery. Because of this, it eventually disappeared. Sometime between the late 2010s and around 2020, the episode was pulled. There was no official announcement or specific date, but networks like Adult Swim stopped airing the reruns, and streaming platforms like HBO Max removed it from their catalog. Despite that, the episode hasn't completely vanished. You can still...
Nah, but I ain't gonna lie. Boondocks in this day and age would go berserk, bro. It'd be like what Drewski is doing now, except like, cause even what Drewski doing now, bro, nobody can really stop him. Cause it's not a TV show. There's no label or like some type of, you know what I'm saying? He's just making skits about real life situations and they're going viral anywhere. Cause there's always a Drewski skit you have probably never seen because he has just so many. Like I swear he don't be home. I swear he don't be home, bro. So like, imagine Boondocks with some Drewski type of repetition, bro. Oh my gosh. Whew.
Find it on DVD, and many people themselves have re-uploaded this onto sites such as YouTube. To me, man, this is a dark episode. Even though it's satire, it ends up reflecting ideology and tension that feel very familiar to 2026 current political climate.
And don't get me wrong, I believe in white rights and all that, but overall, I'm a pretty happy fella. You know what the liberals and the NAACP never could figure out? It's not about the color of a man's skin. It's not the big lips or how y'all say aura instead of aura.
Or the fact they wear their ass on their shoulders.
Right. It's the attitude, stupid. A feller can't control what color he is, but he can control his attitude. If all blacks acted like you, Toby, if they worked hard and stopped complaining about every goddamn thing, then we wouldn't have no problem with them at all.
A few minutes later.
Because I'm trying to let people know black people ain't not ignorant. I ain't ignorant.
I'm not, I don't care if you're ignorant or not. I am ignorant. And I don't want to be around you.
In today's video, man,
What? I don't even know what to say to that. I ain't gonna lie.
we're gonna break down this episode, sprinkle in some real life events, and also give my opinion on it. The Boondocks has always been an incredible series. What once felt exaggerated or some type of far-fetched comedy, rewatching this over in 2026 feels like a prediction. A lot of people give glaze to The Simpsons for doing this, but I think the Boondocks deserve its credit. There are a lot of episodes that I could cover from this series. So if y'all end up enjoying this video and want to see more, go ahead and leave me some suggestions in the comments and drop a like. But that's enough talking, man. Let's get into it. Now, before we dive into this episode, I think it's best that we establish some context first. The story centers around a fictional country singer named Jimmy Rebel, an openly racist performer whose music is built entirely on white supremacist ideology. This character is actually inspired by a real-life person, Clifford Joseph Trahan, better known as Johnny Rebel. Born in 1938, this was an American musician most famous for recording racist, segregationist songs. He was active mainly during the 1960s at the height of the civil rights movement. His music openly supported segregation, heavily relied on racial slurs, offensive stereotypes, and he made this music just to get a reaction out of...
I wonder what the radio was like back then. Cause let's be honest, the radio now, I can confidently say is dominated by black people. Whether it's classical music, jazz, you in the malls, pop music, Rihanna, SZA, like, you know what I'm saying? But imagine back then, yo. What was it? Elvis Presley. What else? The Beatles probably. It's crazy. Cause I'll hear country music every now and then, but now we got country black men. So it's like, I don't know. It's changed for sure. It's had to change compared to what it is before.
Black folks during that time.
It is too
He
now.
was rage baiting. Some of his song titles include Some N-Words Never Die, Cajun, KKK, N-Words Hating Me, Who Likes a N-Word, and Alabama N-Word, which unfortunately in 2026 still pops up online.
I don't drink, I don't cuss. I wanna ride on the front of the bus. I don't drink, I don't cuss. I wanna ride on the front of the bus.
What's especially notable about this dude is that his music never brought him any type of real money. His songs weren't played on the radio, they weren't backed by any major record company, and for the most part, the only way his music was distributed was by mail orders, small regional channels, and word of mouth. He held regular jobs including manual labor and driving trucks. This man was doing this shit out of pure hatred for black folks. With that understood though, let's get into this episode. It starts off with a flashback from the year 1967 inside a country redneck bar. We are then met by a young Jimmy Rebel. He's having a conversation right before he goes onto stage to make his big debut. Early on in his performance, the crowd gives him a rough time. They ain't really getting jiggy with this shit. But this all changed when he started talking about his hatred for niggas.
Rita, Sharita, and Jamal, Orangelo, Mangelo, and Tylenol. Grab an orange soda and a basketball, just leave my daughter be.
They end up loving his performance and they gave him a standing ovation. The show then cuts back to modern day where we see Granddad and Uncle Ruckus having their daily checkers game. Today though, Ruckus is more distracted than usual. We hear him singing off some derogatory words right before Granddad snatches his headphones out of his ears. Now for quick context, if you don't know who Uncle Ruckus is, this is the raccoon of the show.
I am not black, nor do I consider myself to be black. Many people mistake me for being Negro because they don't know that I am currently living with the heartbreak of revitiligo. That's a skin condition that's the opposite of what Michael Jackson's got. Every morning I apply this topical ointment made of bleach and sulfur. I like to think it works.
Granddad ends up
Are there still people like him? Like real life people like that? I've never encountered, I've never encountered any. So I wonder there's actually Uncle Ruckus out there. I actually wonder. It is not just some angry grandpa, but it's actually a black person who hates being black.
asking Ruckus though, what are you listening to? It can't be that good. Ruckus goes on to explain that it is the great Jimmy Rebel. Granddad then proceeds to give this music a try and he is utterly disgusted. Rightfully so. This then sparks an argument between the two because Uncle Ruckus truly idolizes this man. In fact, he inspired his love for the genre of racist music.
Keep them to yourself. Nobody want to hear that shit, you black fool.
Oh, yeah? Well, just cause you said that, I'm gonna go home and record them. So there.
Fine, now get the f*** on.
I will.
Fine.
Fine.
Fine. As soon as we finish this game.
I think it's your move.
The bond between Uncle Ruckus and Robert, aka Granddad, has always been interesting to me. Granddad does despise the way that Ruckus thinks, but they have a bond and it's kind of wholesome. Because of the dispute that he had with Granddad, he decides to record a racist song of his own. He sends this off plus a letter of gratitude to Jimmy Rebel. Jimmy and his team, they give it a listen, and to no surprise, they love it. The next day, he gives him a visit. The only problem is, Jimmy doesn't expect this racist song to be made by a black man. Quickly though, Ruckus lies. He ends up saying that the real Uncle Ruckus is a white man that he works for, and his name is actually Toby. He also says that he is sick right now with the
Nigerian monkeypox. Very contagious.
After some convincing, Jimmy finally comes into Ruckus' home. They conversate, and they end up realizing that they have a lot of things in common. Before leaving, Jimmy leaves his number so he can speak to Ruckus and get shown around town. The next day, Granddad and Uncle Ruckus meet up for their daily checkers match. Ruckus isn't focusing as much though, and this is because the situation that Ruckus is in.
Have you ever met somebody who seemed to like you, but it's only because they don't know the real you?
Yeah, that's pretty much every woman I've ever dated.
The next morning, Rebel pulls up onto Uncle Ruckus, and this is where we see their bonding session happen. They go to the state fair where we see them eating cotton candy together, getting pictures drawn, riding bikes with each other, watching slave movies, and even sharing ice cream. Pause. They were having so much fun this day that Ruckus stood up Granddad. As they wrap up the day though, Rebel and Ruckus have a conversation that truly strikes home, specifically in 2026.
It's not about the color of a man's skin. It's not the big lips or how y'all say "ara" instead of "r."
Or the fact they wear their ass on their shoulders.
Right. It's the attitude, stupid. A feller can't control what color he is, but he can control his attitude. If all blacks acted like you, Toby, if they worked hard and stopped complaining about every goddamn thing, then we wouldn't have no problem with them at all.
This plays into
No comment. He told a little bit of truth.
Respectability politics, and the whole black fatigue trend. This is my thing, y'all. Stop justifying racism. If someone is racist, they are racist. Take, for example, let's go back to the 1960s. Black people were on their best behavior. We were dressing up in suits, being respectful, and things were pretty much segregated. But guess what? Lynchings were at an all-time high. Racism was at an all-time high, and people didn't like us.
What do you think of black people?
I don't like them.
Why?
I really don't. Because I just think that they're always looking out to make trouble. I just could not live.
Because it was the, you know, the stereotypes, you know, were loud, ratchet, which, you know, still see today. So and sometimes black people be doing it to themselves, like, you know, when your mom tell you act right when y'all go out, and you don't act right, white people see it, it's like, oh, it's just another, you know what I'm saying? So, it be tricky.
Inside them, I don't feel that they should be oppressed. But I moved here, one of the main reasons was because it was a white community. And that's the only place I intend to live. If I have to leave Levittown, I will do so.
Personally, my home life, it has an effect nothing whatsoever. But on the neighbors, they have a right. Because the average white person living in Levittown has 4 and 5 children. Well, let's put it this way. If the Levittown is migrated in hordes of Negroes, which they have a right to come here, but if something that happens that way, pretty soon my neighbor will be having a Negro son-in-law or a daughter-in-law.
Now, that was the 1950s, Levittown, Pennsylvania. This country will have us believe that that was so far in the past that those people just disappeared. Now, a lot of folks say it's more about class and less about race, but we see an example right there that in 1957, even if you had enough class status to be able to live in a neighborhood with those folks in Levittown, they didn't believe you was worthy enough regardless of your job.
As they wrap up this conversation though, Jimmy urges that he really wants to talk to Ruckus. Ruckus agrees because in the back of his mind he has a plan. He ends up going to Granddad's house and convinces him to play Uncle Ruckus that is sick upstairs in the bedroom. He'll talk through the door because he's too sick, and this should cover up everything. Once Jimmy arrives, pretty much everything goes smooth. They speak through the door back and forth, and Granddad goes along with everything. During the conversation, Jimmy expresses how he wants to collaborate together and record some racist music. But this all changes once Jimmy started listing off some of his album names and slides them under the door.
I went ahead and brought you a present. Hope you don't mind. These are autographed copies of my albums.
Hey.
Welfare Queen and Cadillac King. Help me. I'm surrounded by...
Hold on. Wow. Okay, I see why this episode got taken out. That is crazy.
Hey.
Welfare Queen and Cadillac King. Help me. I'm surrounded by...
This shit. Okay, that's enough. Get the fuck out of my house.
What the hell?
Get out of my way. Robert, no.
Toby, who is this?
With the truth out, Ruckus feels ashamed. But surprisingly, Jimmy doesn't care. He states how at the end of the day, it's just for the love of music. This episode is truly wholesome in a funny way because it's like, I see the bond and I kind of like it. But this nigga racist, so that's the greatness of Boondocks. Together, they then travel to Spoken Hope, where he is introduced to the record label. Everyone is flabbergasted. How could Jimmy be seen with a nigga? They hop into the booth and then proceed to record the most outlandish track ever. They play this song in front of the label and they like it. But there is one problem. Ruckus is a black man. The demographic isn't gonna like this.
Ruckus is more of a racist than anyone in this room, and that includes me.
Look, Mr. Rebel, I think they might be right.
No, come on now. Beneath your skin, you're as white as any white man, and I'm gonna prove it to you. Tonight, I'm doing the new stuff at Shit Kickers, and I want you to come with me.
Once at the bar, Jimmy hops onto stage. The first half of the song, the audience likes it. It's regular smuggler, racist talk about how he hates N-words and they're lazy, this and that. But midway through the song, something changes, and the audience catches on. He states how he met a black man with a white soul. The crowd did not like this, and this is one of the top Boondocks moments of all time.
What the?
What in the Get that off the stage!
Give him a chance!
Give him a chance? Well, you probably gave Barack Obama a chance too! You sang with
You probably voted for one!
No, I didn't!
Chaos breaks out, and this allows Jimmy and Uncle Ruckus to escape by hopping in the limousine. Once everything is settled, they have a conversation, and Jimmy says something that I try to get everyone in 2026 to understand, especially my black people that play into these black fatigue trends and respectability politics.
You remember when I said how we hate the blacks because of their attitudes?
Yeah?
Well, I think that's a load of shit. You're just like one of us, Ruckus, but they still hate you.
Ruckus is truly a raccoon because guess what? He don't want to hear this shit. If you don't like niggas, including him, you not a real nigga to him.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rebel, but I can't make music with you no more because you are not the racist I thought you were.
Ruckus, wait a minute, come back here.
The next day, Ruckus returns back home where he's calmed down. He ends up having another conversation with Jimmy, and Jimmy just tells him, man, I'm not as racist as I used to be anymore. I don't want to talk about niggas all day. Now, before you think it's going to be a wholesome ending, it's not. The good thing is they still end up making music together, and it's not about black people, but instead, it is racist Mexican music now. What the
Send the back down to Mexico. Send the back down to Mexico where they come from.
I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. This episode most definitely deserves a watch. I think my favorite moment is truly Rebel realizes like my rhetoric is BS. These people are actually racist. They don't care about no person on the inside. And this is what I truly see. All of these big right-wing influencers, they spread these ideologies and it's like these are just excuses for people to be racist. I say this all the time, but most racist people don't even have interactions with black people. They're forming all of their ideas and perceptions about people from online. And 9 times out of 10, these are just cherry-picked moments showcasing the bad of us. These type of things always go viral. It's the generalizations, and I talk about that all the time. The hypocrisy is insane. Epstein files are full of white men, but nobody says white fatigue. Somebody knew something about white men. But look, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
That's a good video. That's a good video. And the thing about racism, nowadays, it's a harsh, like, you know, topic to talk about. Only because, like, nobody will ever come out and say they're just blatantly racist. But, like, you'll get that feeling that somebody doesn't like a certain race just because of, you know, whatever. But at that point, it's just like, if you don't want to be around them, it's like whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way you go about it. That's like, okay, you gotta say something. But if it's just you don't want to be around black people, can't be mad at that, for real. You just don't want to be around black people. That's really it. But that was a crazy episode. I see why I got taken down. I see. That was a good video, though.
Had to take a minute, was a close call. I don't fuck the flight attendant, heading overseas, I don't switch the coast on. I was under the impression that you weren't impressed, I don't mean to boast now. I got cash on top down, pop the bands as an